Hi guys, and welcome back to Tesla Electron. Keith here. Hope you've had a fantastic week. It has been an exciting week in the Tesla universe, hasn't it? So, of course, at the beginning of the week, we started out really well on the stock market. It went really quite well, and then it plummeted. It started going down and down and down. And of course, in hindsight, as these things are, it was quite obvious what was going on. Elon wanted to buy Twitter, and of course he succeeded in doing just that, as you would all know. And in the process, of course, he went and sold some shares. So it looks like he sold about 9.6 million shares this week, according to filings on Thursday and Friday of that's the 28th and 29th of April 2022. It equates to about 5.6% of his stake in the Tesla company. He put in two Form 4s that were submitted to the SEC, dated the 26th of April. So Elon had well and truly planned to get this thing happening. He wanted Twitter. I don't know what's your thought about that. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea. I think that it could be good, but I think that there are a lot of caveats in running those two types of companies, particularly being that he's trying to get a factory in India, and as we know, India has some free speech issues, and of course China, which of course has some free speech issues as well. So I don't know how that's going to work out with Elon. I'm sure that he's thought this through. At least I would hope so. I'm sure he has. And so they could become a bit of an issue or a bit of a thorn in his side. So to buy Twitter, Elon's got to put in $21 billion. And thus far, with his sale of his Tesla stock, I think he's got about $4.5 billion. So he's got about $17 billion to find. I'm sure there'll be plenty of investors who are willing to go in with Elon and to sort out Twitter. I'm hoping. Let's see what happens. Well, he has to come up with the dollars, because I believe there's a clause in the contract where one of them or either of them has to pay up to $1 billion if it doesn't go through. So that's pretty important. Have a look at the Twitter feed. Elon posted here on Twitter this week saying no further TSLA sales planned after today. That was on the 29th of April, Friday. I'm hoping that there isn't any more, but time will tell us. We'll see what happens. Of course, whether he decides to sell some more, I suppose it depends on whether he can get some more people to come in with him. And so I was thinking about this whole process, and of course he sold the shares, hence the share market plummeted. Here we are. Let's go over to good old Yahoo Finance, and we can see here that on the Yahoo Finance page that Tesla finished at $8.70 and 76 cents, down 6.75% on the day, and it's still a great, well, in my humble opinion, not stock advice of course, this is fantastic news. Because it's in my opinion, this will be the bargain of the century. So if you look at its all-time high of $1,243 on, I think, 49 cents, I believe, down to $870.76, that's about a 29.97% decrease. From my perspective, that's a 29 or nearly a 30% discount on these shares. So I'm putting as much dollars as I can together to buy more Tesla shares. That's just what I'm doing. Again, not stock advice. So I think that it's very, very exciting times what's going on here. Elon owned on the 15th of February 2022 172.6 million Tesla shares, which was about 17% stake in the company, which made him and makes him the single largest individual shareholder for Tesla. Now, I asked the question of good old Google, How many shares of Tesla does Elon have? And Musk still owns about 163 million shares of Tesla. So there's no need to panic. Elon is still the largest shareholder by number of shares. So the big panic and the big struggle was completely unnecessary. Now, that's not counting the 100+ million stock options awarded as part of his 2018 compensation package. The recent sale, he still owes 163 million Tesla shares, guys. There's no need to panic. What percentage does he own? I reckon that brings him back to about 12%, not including the 100 million shares that he has an option to purchase. Now, you all understand how an option works. He has an option to purchase those at a certain price. And I suspect that the price that he has an option on is way cheap, or heaps cheaper. 2018, imagine what the share price was in 2018. So I suspect that that's going to be a huge boon for him. So then I thought to myself, that the shares plummeted on Friday as low as $8.70 from an all-time high, of course, of $12.43 and 73 cents, or a 29.97 discount from my perspective. Given what caused the price to go down, i.e. Elon's sales, it appears to me highly likely that the price will go back up, but whilst it's down, I'll be buying the discount with every spare cent I can muster. Rumour has it from JP Morgan, it's likely to be a 20-for-1 split. Now, you remember in my previous video up here or up there somewhere, I said that I thought it would be a 10-for-1 split. So I was a bit surprised to hear this rumour from JP Morgan to say that they sent out to some of their shareholders to tell them that there was a likelihood of it being a 20-for-1. I don't know about you, but that's pretty exciting from my perspective. Yes, I know it doesn't change the value of my shares, as I've written there, but what it does do is make them cheaper, hence more desirable to the general retail investor, which inevitably will push the price back to where they are today, or where we are today. After the stock split, it may go back up to the all-time highs. The following day or year, I suspect it'll take a while. But I thought I'd just do some sums here for you for the sake of keeping it simple. Say you had 10 shares. I don't have 10 shares. My share portfolio is a lot more than 10 shares. I won't go into that here. Significantly more than 10 shares. But I thought just to keep it simple, if you just had 10 shares. So 10 shares at today's low of $870. So that would cost you $8,700 USD. And of course, if you're an Australian, that's going to cost you significantly more because our dollar at the moment is 71 cents for every USD. So sometime this year, they'll split 20-for-1. So you've now got 200 shares, roughly, valued at $43.50 each a share, which will equal you $8,700. So I'm trying to explain to you what a split will look like. However, the reduced price starts a buy from the 401k funds, etc., and retailers alike. So, given 3 to 5 years down the track, after full self-driving and Optimus comes online, say around 2027, we're back to around $870 a share. But now you've got 200 shares. Think about that. So you've now got 200 shares. So 200 times 870, you see my figures there, $174,000. This is not investment advice, but this is what could be. I don't have a crystal ball, don't see the future, but nevertheless, this is what could happen with your 10 shares and your $8,700 investment. You could return $163,300 over the next 5 years, say, or 106% increase. Not a bad return. I don't know about you, but I think that that's pretty exciting. Tesla might completely stuff up and tank, But if history is anything to go by, this is going to be the bargain of the century. Now, of course, if you like this video, don't forget to share and subscribe. It really does help. And also, if you'd like to support the channel further, see me on Patreon, Tesla Electron, links in the description. So I'm just patreon.com/Tesla Electron. For some reason, when you search me in Patreon, I don't come up. But if you put in the link, it will show up. And I really do appreciate the people who have said that they would sponsor me going forward. I would like to do this more than I am able to do it. I work as well as do the channel, and I have other commitments. And of course, I'd really appreciate some support for the channel. And I'd like to thank my very first Patreon, Turquoise Flower. Thank you, Turquoise Flower, for your Patreon. I really do appreciate that. And of course, what I'll do for all of my new Patreons is I'll put them up on my end card when I finish the show. And so that's this week. It's been very exciting. I can't imagine where it's all going to go. The Nasdaq was significantly down. The Dow was down significantly last week. So we are potentially in a bear market. So Tesla could go lower still, but the chances are good that it'll probably stabilize to some degree. I mean, I'm still watching, of course, and I'm putting some dry powder aside, of course, to hopefully snag some at this price or lower even. And so I'm expecting Tesla to be a fantastic stock choice for the future. Again, I hope you really enjoyed that. I hope that you got something out of it. I hope it encourages you and you don't panic. I was watching Kramer today, and they had along the bottom on the ticker, it said, panic is not a good trading strategy. Panic is not a good trading strategy. It's not. You cannot trade your stocks or your shares or any of your portfolios on emotion. You got to look at the fundamentals of the company, look at where it's going, have a look at the Q1 earnings call. Go to ir.tesla.com and just have a look at their investor sheet, their profit and loss and all of that. It was a blowout quarter, just way over and above what anyone would have ever imagined. And this is not unusual for Tesla to do a 50% increase, year over year over. And I suspect they'll do somewhere between 50 and 70% increase from now to this time next year. So expect there to be a lot of volatility in Tesla stock. There will be. It's a no-brainer. Get used to it. Don't panic. Panic is not a trading strategy. Keep your wits about you and buy when it's low. If you need to sell when it's high, sell, take your profits, but only when it's high. And then don't FOMO in when it's high. If it goes back to $1,260 next week, don't FOMO in and think, oh, I've blown it, blah, blah. It'll come down again, guy. It'll happen. It happened again. It's back to 870 this week. It's only a month or two ago that it was down at $690. It wasn't down that much for long, but it was $690 something. If it's too volatile for you and it's too stressful, and if it's money you cannot afford to lose, then just do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Be wise for yourself. And that's not advice, of course. For me, I'm a long-term Tesla. Very long-term. I don't expect to pull or to sell any Tesla stock between now and 2030. Because I can see full self-driving coming, and I can see Tesla bot Optimus, they're calling it. I tell you, I cannot imagine how much money that's going to make. It will be absolutely huge. But then again, tomorrow, mate, they might stuff up and do something completely stupid. I don't know. But I don't think they will. I just don't think they will. Again, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And of course, don't forget my Patreon. The link's in the description. And of course, I will see you again very, very soon. Stay charged. Bye.